Hey guys, and welcome to my UDK tutorial series, and this will be showing some advanced Kismet scripting. I was going to do physics, but I've been having some trouble with that, and I will get to that. I just got to figure out a couple things having to do with some physics actors and stuff. But yeah, some advanced scripting. I picked this level. It's the example map. If you want to get to it, just go to wherever your UDK folder is located. Then go into there, go to Engine, then Content, Maps. That's not it. That's not the right maps. UDK game, my bad. Content, Maps, Examples, and then Example Map, and that's what the map this is. I'm gonna be showing. I'm not gonna be getting really in depth. It's not gonna be like really hardcore stuff with scripting, because if you get to that point, you're gonna have a really good understanding of Kismet anyway. And I'm really not gonna show some of the really high class stuff, because I mean, if you do get to that point, you're gonna need to do a lot more research than I would be able to show you, because I haven't actually made a game, so I'm not gonna be able to do any of the really hard stuff, you know, like, because I mean, a game like Gears of War, that was made almost entirely in Kismet, and you know, that had a lot of stuff in it, so it can be kind of difficult when you get really into it, but it's pretty easy to debug and stuff, so that's what I like. But I'm gonna go and get into the level and just kind of show you all the different things that are in here, and then talk about them, and then go back and view that one thing, and then, you know, talk about it more in depth. So let's start. One thing to note, this here, you can drive around in this, but this is not Kismet related. This is specifically kind of a GUI sort of thing, because whenever you get in here, it's just, whoops, I closed the menu. It's just a lot more different than it's not really Kismet related. It's not got that capability. I mean, you could script this in Kismet, but it would be rather difficult with thrusters and stuff. So this actual object is not going to be in Kismet, because it's like it's complicated. I'm not going to explain it right now. It's more of an animated object, so to speak, and someone may correct me, yes, but I mean, the way I understand it would be an animated sort of. I'm not going to get into it, like I said. First of all, though, this is like a action script test thing, because there's a lot of action script in this. That's action script related. That's one reason why it's hard to explain. And this is just like a debug feature. So it doesn't really do much for us right now, because there's not really any bugs with the game, with the level. But anyway, we've got this working elevator. You go up here, and one thing to note is if you jump on it, it'll reverse direct. Well, it won't. Yeah, there it goes. It should reverse now. Yeah, it's not, because it's having some issues with the fact that it's all the way up at the top now. Okay. Anyway, we walk through here, get a little message, place bomb, and we place the bomb. Explosion, particle effect, camera effect. And then, you know, an enemy to fight. Where'd you go, dude? Okay, and I'm out of ammo now, so I'm not gonna be able to kill him. But if I would, I were to kill him, it would just say that you've killed him, and then you get in the little menu, and he's gone now. Well, no, he's actually still there. Okay. Typically it would actually go to the main menu, but since there isn't a main menu to go to, because it's just a simple little map in UDK. If I was actually in the game itself, in the game, the Unreal Tournament, it would go to the menu. But it's not going to, because obviously that isn't in UDK. There's not a menu attached with it. So let's get into the scripting. So we'll just click on Kismet here and bring this up. Okay, so we've got lots of different things, and there's a spawn crowd and stuff here. I'll get to this later. I'm going to go from easiest stuff first. So it's going to go down and then probably up to here. And I may not even cover this, because that's strictly for, Scaleform 4 ActionScript, which I don't have any of those programs, unfortunately. So, and then I'll probably get to these two. So, alright, the elevator and gate, pretty simple. If you've seen my scripting a movable door tutorial, which I'll probably change the name of that to like basic Kismet, because that's what it is. So, we've got, and I would recommend watching that so you could understand the, the basics of this, because I'm not going to go over, what is a trigger, how to script the movable door, basic matinee stuff, what is all these lines, all this kind of stuff. But we've got a trigger here, which when you get in that, activates the opening of the doors, and also activates the reverse of the doors, but I'm not going to get into that later until a little bit after I've explained the process of it going up first, because this basically reversing it is more of a debug sort of thingy. But anyway, so this plays. Now, this is the interp actor mover is not a trigger. It's more of a special type of thing. This right here is an interp actor. So this has got its own special properties, and if you load any static mesh as an interp actor, it will allow you to put this in Kismet and have it act as a Kismet thing to start off a line of code. So whenever something is on this, it will execute the attached string. Whenever something is not on it, it will execute the deattached string. So basically it's the same as touched, untouched, attached, deattached. And then it's of course got open, finished, and then hit actor. So if it hit actor is like if something hits it, comes off, comes on sort of thing. It's kind of what it will do. I assume it's what it does, because it makes sense. Because I mean I've tested that, and that seems to be what it does so far. So like if you were to jump up and down, that would be like hitting the actor, and it would make it change direction. And this is just the interp actor. I'm not going to get into all of this. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Anyway, so far what we've got is that the doors will open once you get close to them. Then once you step inside, it's going to move the elevator up, because this is the elevator matinee sequence. Then once that's completed, it's going to open the top elevator door. That's it. Now, once you're deattached, here's the deattached string. So once you walk off of this, it's going to reverse the opening of the top elevator door. Basically resulting, in this is going to make the elevator go down. So it's going to close this door, and on the reverse it's going to move the elevator down instead of up. And one thing to note is the reverse doesn't link to the completed, it only links to the reversed. So if I were to link the completed string of this to here, whenever this was done, and it would play this, whenever the top elevator door finished, it would not it would start like whenever the top elevator door opened, it would make the elevator go down because the completed only links to play, not reverse. So reverse links to reverse, play links to completed. Kind of how that works. So you won't get a completed string. You won't get anything come from that unless you actually have a completed entrance, like a completed. Okay, my bad. That was wrong. You won't get anything out of here unless you have something going in here first. Now, if you were to then connect this to something, it would do something after it finished opening the elevator door. But if you didn't get anything going here first, you couldn't link anything to here. It wouldn't do anything, even if you did link it. The same applies to here. So, okay. Alright, and then while that's pretty simple, you have a little debug feature, like I said, that links to here to reverse this in case the elevator, you were to somehow jump out of the balcony up there and land down at the bottom. The trigger would cause the elevator to come back down to pick you up. That's basically what that does. And then, of course, a change of direction if you jump up and down. Pretty simple. Now, the bomb and explosion is it's not really that advanced. It's got a lot to it, but it's not really too advanced. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know exactly how they got the E key to work, because I went in and tried to do it myself, like, you know, with a whole separate string of stuff. And E is just apparently the default key in this map, because this map has got a lot. It's like got a lot of changes to the initial map, and the fact that you have all the extra stuff whenever you spawn. So, and now obviously you have a player name, but like the guns and stuff, this is just not. This doesn't include the guns and stuff, because it's got the set player name. This doesn't include. I'll get to this in a minute, but I'm just showing. It doesn't have anything having to do with the guns or anything of that nature. So, they've changed a little bit of the source, I think, for this particular map, and I'm not sure where the well, this is the wrong thing. Like for whenever the trigger is used, because it said, place E to place a bomb on the wall, and whenever you use this trigger, E is the key to use it, but I don't know how they set that up. There's not anything to actually set that up with, so I'm sorry I can't help you with that. I don't know why that is the case, because usually there should be an option to tell what key should be, what key would be used to trigger this, but there isn't. So anyway, I'll just go ahead and start talking about this, and with that one thing aside, the rest of it makes plenty of sense. So, when a player enters the trigger volume, which that's a little bit different than an actual trigger, because it's just a volume like this, which is here. So you just add that like you would any other volume. And they both have their uses. There's some different properties and whatnot. I'm not going to get into all of these again, because they're pretty simple properties, not hard to understand. So let's just hop back in here. So once someone goes in that, it's going to play this announcement. That's it. That's all that is there for. Once it plays this message, you have E to place a bomb on the wall. So that's just telling you that E is the key that you must use, and that's not the reason that E is the default key, because this isn't linked in any way to any of this other stuff. So I don't understand why that is the case, but basically this is used whenever you press E, and you have to be near it. You have to be within 128 distance to do that. And aim to interact basically allows you to tell, like if it was like a little button that you had to press or something, the aim to interact is there so that you can't face backwards away from the button and still be able to interact with it. You have to at least aim at the button. Otherwise, it will just do a simple radial check around the area. So you can get relatively close and not aim at it, and it would still place the bomb on there. That's what that does. So that allows actually a good bit of leeway and be able to create stuff right there, just that alone, because you can do a lot with those two specific things if you use a bit of imagination. So you have specific buttons and specific interaction with a specific target that you would need to actually be touching or something, or you could be sitting against a wall and press E and it do a specific object, a trigger or something, like activating some thingy that does something like like placing a bomb on a wall or something. I don't know, I can't think of many creative ideas, but it does allow a good lot of leeway, if you know what I mean. Okay, so right off the bat it does two things. First of all, there's that bomb indicator that it has, and it uses just an interp actor. If I click on this, it gives the name of that and everything right there that they used. So I could open this up in the content browser. Let me do that. Okay, let me do this. So if I were to click open find in content browser, it should, well, it didn't. Okay, never mind. UDK decided not to work for me. But that's obviously pretty simple. They just linked a specific target in the game that they wanted to use, which was it's this thing right here. This red thing. So they just tell this to destroy it, and it's action should be a destroy thing here somewhere. Okay, obviously I'm not gonna be able to. Okay. Where is the event? No. Somewhere here there is a destroy thing, which I can't find. Okay, I can't find it. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time wasting your time trying to find it. But anyway, you put that in there, you're in, and your out would be to continue a line of code along that area, but since we don't need to, it's fine. And you could technically just put this on unhide and it would work the same, but they just did it this way, so it's a little bit more organized. You can follow it a little bit easier. Because these two things happen kind of at the same time, which is another reason why they kind of did it separately. Because you want it to destroy that other thing, and then also place this at the same time, so it just looks like you're replacing it, not actually destroying it and then placing. So, and this is actually sitting there the whole time, this bomb mesh, but it's hidden, and so they just unhide it, and so this is probably in the toggle. So yeah, toggle hidden right there, and so that just allows, and the target is this actor that's sitting here, and they have there's a hidden, that bomb mesh is actually here right now. So this is it. It's actually this red thing right here is the mesh, but then it's also kind of translucent whenever it's not hidden. Whenever it's hidden, it's got like a translucent thing around it, which they set up. And so that just unhides that. It doesn't actually place anything there. And then it's got a delay of 3, 2, 1, and it just logs that. Don't really know. Yeah, that just allows an object to be put into the log, I guess. You could just put a 3-second delay and then go in there, but they wanted to do it differently, I guess. I don't know. There is a tick sound though, so I don't know where that is activated. Anyway, now this destroys the bomb and the blocking volume that allows you to not go through the actual wall, because they set that section of the wall up to allow you to go through it. So if I were to click on this section of the wall is separate. So F4, it's fractured static mesh, and collision, it just blocks weapons, you see. Okay, so it's the only thing it blocks, but then they set up a blocking volume so that you couldn't walk through it. And then they remove the blocking volume, and then you can walk through it, and it works perfect. But they blocked your weapons, so if you shot it, it would act like it, it wouldn't really do anything to the wall. It wouldn't destroy the wall because it's a fractured static mesh, you see. So if you have that blocking set up, it wouldn't really hurt the wall much. So they destroy the blocking volume and the bomb itself, while at the same time creating the explosion effect. So this activates the radial impulse, which is this. And that's a physics actor, which kind of blows everything about. I'll get into that whenever I do get to the physics stuff. But that just, obviously, as you can see, from the explosion effect, which I'll go show you again in a minute, it does just kind of blast things around. Particle effect emitter for the short explosion, which just activates like once. And then the sound of the explosion. And turns off the explosion again, because this is an ambient sound. It will just like repeat, so it turns off the explosion again. And that's it. That's really all that is to it. If you followed that, great. I'm sorry if you couldn't really follow that, but it is pretty simple. The only thing, like I said, I'm sorry about is I couldn't figure out like why the trigger wasn't working. You can do this. You can do where is it? Oh wait, it's an event. You can do key button pressed, or like mobile button pressed, or anything like that, touch input or something like that, that you can be able to kind of get to do the same thing. Now I have had some trouble with that in the past, so just be forewarned. And of course this is the scale from Action 3 thing, and this is GFX Movie is wanting to play the Action Script 3 thing. This trigger 2. This is, I believe, in this room. Right? Is it? Should be. I've got to go through the door. Okay, it's not. Yeah, I don't know exactly where that's from. Still, we're good. That's just some random trigger somewhere. And it would play the movie. But it doesn't, like, see this, it doesn't know where the movie is, because it plays in the game part, but because this is just a single map without all of the other assets attached to it, it doesn't know where the movie is. So that's why I didn't really want to show this much, but I ended up showing it anyway, because I don't know why. That's pretty easy to follow, of course. It's not too hard. Now let's get up to this. So this is the very beginning, and they have this set up in such a way that it goes from start to finish. So you get this, this, but they obviously have this here because some of the things here link into these other things. So anyway, you've got when the player is spawned, something that happens, and you've also got when the level is loaded, something that happens. So at the very beginning of the level, it's going to start spawning this. That's it. And this is just a crowd spawner factory type thing, and this is the destination of where they would be spawning at. And I'm not going to get too much into this because that would I'd start talking about skeletal meshes, and then that would be a whole different topic altogether. But basically, just know that this allows, it just starts this. This is where they spawn points at, and it just spawns the targets. That this is the main thing, but that I'll just go here, and you notice here's what this is referring to. It's just referring to this, so it's just going to spawn from those points, and most of these are within those. A lot of the stuff, and also here, bunch of stuff too. And here's some more, stuff that it knows to be able to use that you don't see directly on here. So anyway, it's pretty simple, and you've got a lot of different options here. So, and once it's spawned, you can go off and continue. But then once the player itself is spawned, you're going to, and see, here's where a lot of the advanced scripting stuff gets into. Kismet scripting stuff, that's what I mean. You've got all these, variables where you can really be able, like a lot of math stuff, to be able to calculate things and get things together, like health and things like that, to be able to display it. So that's what a lot of this is. You've got properties, floats, strings, bools, values, is that intert values? Int variable values. Okay. So basically, this is the target, is the player. It doesn't really know what that is, because I think that's because it's referencing to another asset, I believe. But it is referencing to this, and the player spawned is this, or the spawn point is here, and the instigator's here. So this all references to the player. This is all referencing to the player. That's what this is doing. The console command, the target is here. This console command is here. So it all tells for the player to be put here. Not put there, but the player is, all these things activate on the player. That's what I mean. I'm finding a hard time finding my words. So the name of the player is set as Gabriel. It's what this does, is console command. And then it puts you in God mode so that you can't take any damage. And it references this player, then after all this has happened, references over to these things. So when the cinematic happens, it will, when you get within this specific trigger volume, it's going to play, and this is the end cinematic, and so it's a trigger volume. I was looking for an actual trigger, but it's an actual trigger volume. That's why I didn't find it. The cinematic for this will play, and it opens all the doors, opens the enemy thingy and everything, and then the robot mesh is inactive, and so it removes that, and then spawns an actual active robot. So they use a stationary robot mesh that's not moving. It's just a mesh, and then they spawn in an actual AI to go get you, like go kill you and stuff. So they spawn in a skeletal mesh to do the animation, but that's it. Like, it's just scripted to do the one animation, like the little chin, decapitation thing. And then they spawn in an actual AI and remove this. You see? So this is kind of an advanced thing. It really just uses a lot of this same stuff that I've already talked about, except for the spawning of the enemy, which I'll get to that in the animation sequence, because that's its own set of video, its own video. Okay, so And then it has a path node, which is the apple thingy. Anytime you see those in a level, those are the path nodes. That way it knows where to go. So what it wants the robot to do is go to here, to here, to here, to here, to here. And then it's just going to run along that section all the while shooting at you. Instead of just running straight out this way and just shooting, making a beeline for you. Because you could be in many different places, and so they just want to make sure the robot gets out okay and gets out over here. And so it's just going to like hang out over here. And here's the navigation point. And so these are all grouped in certain order, and it'll just it helps the AI kind of figure out where it needs to go. But I'm not going to get too much into this either, because obviously don't want to talk about too many things at one time. So, and here's that camera that does the cinematic. So the path nodes go, and then once this is completed, it also removes the HUD and locks the player movement. Well, my bad. It disables that. It's what it does. I'm so stupid. Once this is touched, it does this so that the HUD and the player can't move, and you can't really see all the numbers and stuff. This is what I was trying to find whenever I was doing the cinematic stuff. So that's apparently in toggle. I did not know that. So there's cinematic mode right there. Okay, good. And then once this is done, there's also another trigger volume at the end here, past all these doors. Whoops. Okay, so there's the robot guy. Here's a path node here too, pointing in that direction. So here's a trigger volume in here. You can't see it really. Is this it? Yeah, this is it right here. So there's a trigger volume in here. And so this activates the level transition. So once you walk into here, it's going to fade to black. It's going to activate the cinematic mode. Okay. And then it's going to do the camera, the short, cinematic thing of the end camera. And once that's completed, it's going to send the player to the main menu. So, and these console commands, it just, you write the command right here. It's what you do, and it's kind of a specific thing. You just kind of have to learn what the commands are. And it's going to send you to the front end map. So basically, if you were to do this level, it would then send you to this map right here once you're done. So it's kind of like, like an actual game. So that's how you link, sort of how you link your levels together. You have the level end thing, and then once you finish that, it links and it goes to the next level and deloads this level and loads the next one. So, I mean, you can have it go to level loading, and then while the level's loading, you have the different transitioning of the loading screen. Whatever you want to do. You have to use action script and stuff for that sort of thing. It gets kind of tricky. So, anyway, let's see. What else should I cover with Kismet? Of course, there's all the variable stuff, but I don't really want to get into that because if you don't know what this is, you would have to go look up and understand, because you have your player object, and you can have all players and stuff, but a lot of this is just for getting specific data to use in other things, like health and things, and it's like math stuff. I don't really want to bother with that. Conditions, pretty. I mean, once you understand kind of how Kismet works, you can kind of understand what these do by just reading it. Do tutorial. Basically, you can play the tutorial, which then links to, you know, cinematics and whatever you want, if that is the case. So this allows you to have a specific thing for tutorials, and it's a little bit more tailored to actually doing the tutorials themselves. So if you set up a whole tutorial thingy, you know, if they abort, you can set up that, okay, this is a tutorial, and so this knows that if that tutorial is aborted, what you do. Like, if the people get bored of the tutorial, or they realize, okay, I actually know all this, then they can just abort it, and it goes to this section. You know, various actions, you know, you've got cameras, your camera's shaking, fading, look at, which they have the fade here, which is what is here, fade to black. Well, actually, you know what, that's not it, but you can have a specific camera fade for all that. Self-destructing vehicles. I mean, the advanced Kismet stuff, it's kind of the thing between, okay, this is explaining how Kismet works and going in and kind of explaining how to do specific things. But unless I were to sit here and cover how to do specific things all single day long, it's not really going to help you. It's kind of one of those things where I want to show you, you know, how to learn. And one of those good things is looking at example lines of code and how they do things. So you can kind of learn, okay, what can I do this with this and how does it work? And unfortunately, I can't really show you some of the action script stuff, but that's okay. You should be able to learn on yourself. And if there's any questions, you know, let me know. Sorry, I'm not really the best at UDK. I can't really tell you more. I don't really make any games. I just kind of play around with it occasionally, and that's really not the best kind of tutorial person you want to listen to, but hey. Anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know what I should do next. I want to get into physics stuff, but there's a lot of... That's kind of really tricky, because there's a lot... Let me just show you how much physics stuff there is, and you'll kind of understand why I've been having trouble with it. This is all physics. All this right here. All of that is physics. And, I mean, I've just been having trouble. Like, I started with down here at the bottom with the thruster. I know what that is. I mean, I know exactly how that works and stuff. And some of these I don't even know what they are because I've not used them. So I'm going to have to go through and figure out what these are. And plus I've been having trouble with attachments on these. So I can do physics, but it may be a while before that tutorial comes out. So just let me know, you know, kind of what you would like. I may do advanced camera stuff maybe. I don't know. So anyway, GUIs and menus, stuff like that, I'm probably not going to be able to show you. I don't have ActionScript 3 or Scaleform or any programs to be able to do that sort of thing with, because you have to, you know, like you've seen, you kind of have to link that through. So, yeah, I don't really know if I could show that, but nevertheless, hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you next time.